pre-recorded.
How you doing, guys? This is Bruce McGee. Here we are at the Weather Report, and all the gang is with me today. We have two extra people on the live stream today. We have Brian McWilliams, who is our guest from the Lions of Liberty, and he cannot hear us right now, so I'm not sure why that's
my
happening.
audio just cut out. Hold on.
There we go. We can hear you just fine.
Bruce, you messed up the intro.
Wonderful world we live in.
It's a wonderful world we live in. Anyway, and then we have our new co-guest or co-host, Christian. And Christian, say hi to everybody.
Hi to everybody.
He's got that low freaking radio voice, man, and he's a good friend of Ken Madden's, and he's going to be handling a lot.
Just give me a hot second. Don't worry, I'll get this figured out. I don't know why. As soon as we went live, my AirPods cut out. Couldn't hear anything. Let's see if I can get them back online for you boys. Nothing like starting the show hot. That's what I like.
Well, we're live.
Settings, audio, says AirPods.
When
We're
Brian
live,
comes
and that's
back
how it
in, I'm
goes.
going to make cult jokes. Again,
I'll mute myself until I can figure this.
Yeah.
Well, we're live, and that's how it goes. So
We'll go ahead.
apparently we're having problems with Rumble too, but that's okay. So the Duchess from New Jersey says, "Good evening, gentlemen." And Duchess is a very good friend of ours that we have just met, and she's here to see Brian. And we just want to welcome her and say hello to her. But anyway, we got Brian from the Lions of Liberty podcast here. He is the what do I want to say? You are the PR guy for the National. Now we had totally lost.
You're muted.
Now you're muted.
We're gonna have to switch to interpretive dance.
Yes, we will.
And that's Ken's department.
We're going to do sign language here, but he's going to come back on as soon as he gets his stuff going. But here we are. And
I could have changed my outfit then.
Yeah, we're gonna do that trapeze thing. So
this is the beauty of live podcasting. I mean, really. I mean, that's where we're at here, and we do this every Sunday. Go ahead, Christian.
We've got a minute here. I want to apologize. I don't know if you can see behind me the big mess my office is right now. I'm in the process of moving my office into a different part of the house. So I apologize that things are a mess here. It'll be better at some point in the future.
Yeah, I'm moving in with Christian. That's why he's doing that.
we're all moving in.
No problem, Jason. We got some extra space, but your commute is going to be a bit of a challenge occasionally.
I work from home full time, so that's fine.
Oh, well, never mind then. Welcome to the party.
So apparently we were also having problems with our Rumble stream. So hopefully they get that all taken care of, and we'll see what goes on there. But maybe we're on now. I have no idea. I'm trying to actually kind of look at the Rumble stream right now. It doesn't look like we're going, but then again, I haven't hit play over there. But the live chat room is open, so you guys can come in and do all of that. But so, how's everybody been for the weekend until we get Brian McWilliams back? Here he comes right now, and maybe we have him on now.
Hey
Brian,
guys, I'm
there?
back. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. It's bizarre. I've never had that happen before. The AirPods just refuse to play. So
well. First of all, the AirPods, right?
I mean, you got to give a little bit of hand jobs to Steve Jobs once in a while, right? There's some technology that does work once in a while. So once in a while is good enough. That's our society, right? If things work once in a while, you double down, you triple down. This is basically what progressives have based their entire political system on. Is something that they thought would work one time, and then they go, you know what? Let's just keep going.
Anybody who
Brian,
doesn't know, Brian McWilliams is a member of the Lions of Liberty. He is John Odermatt's partner, and he has been gracious enough to bless us with some of his time. He is also the communications director of the National LP Committee. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. I've been doing it for about a year. And what can I say? It's been interesting. I came on in a funny time because I developed a whole messaging strategy, which we can talk about, and which still has not gone live, sadly, or else it'd be a lot more interesting to talk about. But I came on right as we were gearing up for the convention. And of course, I was on board during the entire Libertarian Convention, where We had, of course, Donald Trump come. We had RFK Jr. come. We invited Biden, didn't come, but we had the most, by far, media we've ever had in our lives. I mean, when in your life have you ever seen a live, coverage from the LNC, from CBS, ABC, Fox News, anybody, CNN, everybody and anybody? You've got the CNN as the pool camera. It was incredible. It was an incredible experience. So I'm honored to be on board doing that. And I can tell you more about kind of like the plans, what we have going on. But of course, it's election season, so we have a lot more to talk about than just my messaging.
Exactly. So really what I want to know, first of all, is that John has his story about how Lions of Liberty was developed and everything. What is your story about how Lions of Liberty came about? And where was John in the in the mix?
John came in late. He was the late to the party guy. That's what it was. I mean, Mark and I, we had started, supporting Ron Paul, and really I give Mark credit. He had started really going Ron Paul hard, talking on our ears every time we're drunk, and really liberty spreads through drunken conversations. That's why we need more likable drunks in the movement. But Mark started talking my ear off about Ron Paul. We start going around, and this is back, 2008. We're doing door to door for Ron Paul. We held a beer pong tournament for Ron Paul to raise money. And then Odie comes out, moves out here and starts getting involved. You start getting into it. We go, let's just start writing. This is back in the times before Twitter, before X, before TikTok. You just had websites and you had message boards. So we started writing content on our website and posting it on the Daily Paul. And you guys probably remember the Daily Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Very popular website. And back in the day, before Dave Smith got all high and mighty, he used to read Lions of Liberty on the Daily Paul.
Right.
So that was really the genesis of it. It's just a bunch of guys saying, we can try to change people's opinions. We took on daily topics. We try to write articles that drew a lot of interest, opinions, and for the time, it was very successful. And then I give Mark credit. He said, I'm going to start a podcast. And we said, have fun with that. That sounds like an adorable thing to do with your time. And we patted him on the head and left him to it. But give him credit, Mark. He was one of the first libertarian podcasters. And then we kind of drafted in after him. First, Odie came on with Felony Friday. And then I joined on with my show, which was originally called Electric Liberty Land, but it started as, what do you call it? Rand pluses and minuses was my segment on the Lions of Liberty original podcast, where we judge Rand Paul. And it seems so amazing now because we're being really tough on Rand Paul back in the day. And God damn, if it hasn't been proven to be by far a guy that really is almost above reproach compared to these other animals in the Senate now and in Congress. So that's my story. And I'm sticking with it.
Well, great. Yeah. And with the election season coming on right now, we're really excited about everything. We're 2 days away from the election and things are going hot and heavy. We had Kamala on SNL last night.
Illegal. Yes. Right.
Yes.
100% illegal.
Yeah,
that's what we understand. But they've done all that. I mean, what is it? Tim Walz and his wife were at the polls the other day, and there was Tim Walz right next to his wife at the poll. And what was he doing right there, watching her put her vote in? So
shaking her hand awkwardly and being a simulacrum of what we would call humanity.
She went third party. She went third party candidate. It's Minnesota. We do that.
And when she married, there's a man and a woman, and then there's whatever Tim Walz qualifies as. We don't know. He's a thing. I don't even know. I mean, Tim Walz strikes me as one of the most odd human beings I've ever watched in my entire life. I mean, legitimately, I don't mean, I'm not just saying this as a joke. He's so bizarre. He's so awkward in everyday life. And as a libertarian saying this, right? I mean, the capital of autism is where we live here in Libertaria. We're talking about Tim Walz, and we're going, this guy seems off. There's something wrong with this man. Like, everything he does is awkward. Everything he does, as far as the way he moves, the way he speaks, his bizarre facial thing, like, he sticks the jaw. Like, there's something distinctly wrong with the man. And you can tell, like, the way he's putting thoughts together just doesn't quite connect properly. And yet he's somehow within 2%, if polls are to be believed, within 2% of becoming the vice president of the United States.
Yeah.
It's beyond belief.
Well, Brian, it gets worse. So the three of us, poor Jason still has Walz as governor, but I
Oh, no.
escaped, and so did Christian. But we went through the absolute tyranny, worse than California, even in Minnesota, under Tim Walz. But it was in Minnesota, so no one paid attention to it. And I moved across state lines over to Wisconsin, which is marginally better, but not great. But Christian went over into Liberty Land in South Dakota, where I was there in Sturgis in 2020. When everyone told you, oh, the motorcycle rally, it's going to kill everybody in the state. You know, this is going to be the super spreader, and nothing happened.
Right.
And Tim Walz would come on every single day, at least once, sometimes twice a day, in the most terrifying news conference that he could do. He's like, well, this is what we're going to do, and we've bought this building that we can house all the bodies. We're going to put 25,000 people in there, refrigerated. And he was absolutely a Gestapo. When they talk about Nazi tactics, I mean, you guys were there, right, too. I mean, it was insane what he was doing. So you're 100% right. And is he weird? Yeah, you have no idea. You should have seen him as governor when no one was looking. Good Lord.
Yes. And part of the weirdness comes from the fact that he didn't eat Frosted Flakes as a kid. He ate Frosted Paint Chips as a kid.
Well, me and
Get
Brian
a little lead in your diet.
Yeah, Brian and I live under the same governor. So we live under Governor Newsom, which has just instituted the new mask mandate again. And I had to grab a mask as I went into the hospital on Saturday morning to go pick up my mom from radiology. Oh God, and that was crazy. So I posted something right through there, and I was pretty much exposed. Fuck
again.
Yeah, Mr. Newsom and your mandate, so I had my mask underneath my stuff. But ironically enough, as I'm walking through the hospital, even some of the doctors did not have any masks on. So they had masks at the doors that you can grab, but everybody was kind of just doing their own thing. And I was actually going to pitch a fit. I was going to say, hey, I want you to show me how to don this mask, make sure that it all fits right, and do this. And my sister's all, please don't make a scene.
Oh, your sister was with you. That's too bad. You could have had fun with that.
Well, I would have been amazed, Bruce, if you could have gotten a sponge bath out of it somehow, some way, talk the nurses into it, and then you're just there, mask on, but everything else full nude.
Right.
Soaking in the bath.
Yes.
Well, so how did you get this gig? How'd you get this gig, Brian, with the PR? Because I know you're in PR as your professional gig, your 9 to 5, and give us a little insight about how your PR business is going, and also how that ties into the Libertarian Party.
Yeah. So, I mean, for the PR biz, I will tell you, I'm not a liar. I'll tell you straight up. It's been an unbelievably frustrating time. I think what's going on is that, we came out of COVID, and COVID almost killed my firm. We were lucky to survive. A lot of the firms didn't. So we came out of it, got a bit of a dead cat bounce there. But then over the last 6 months, it's been an odd stasis where we can't seem to get anybody. There's a lot of interest, but what people will do, they'll say, hey, we want PR. We're interested in PR. They get a proposal. They're not willing to move on it. And I honestly think that it might be connected to the election. I think people are waiting to see what's going to happen. I think inflation obviously was a concern. But I think that even progressives, because a lot of our clients are in the state here of California, we work a lot with entertainment and advertising. I think they're waiting to see what happens. And I think that, I don't want to say, if Trump or Chase Oliver wins, that things are going to go in a more positive direction. But I think people are waiting to see, because right now it seems like, there's just, the planes are circling the airport and nothing's landing. So that's where I'm at. It's been a frustrating time. But like you said, I've done 20 years of public relations. I've worked for an agency called Spelling Communications. Funny story. My boss is actually Aaron Spelling's nephew. The same Aaron Spelling that is father to Tori Spelling. We used to get psychopaths calling our office, giving us tips on how to make 90210 better. We used to get stalker letters written in all sorts of bodily fluids.
Oh, jeez.
It's like everything you can imagine we would get. So that's my agency. But with that in mind, I've been doing Lions of Liberty for a long time. I've been involved in the Liberty movement, and I've talked about messaging. And when there was an opening years ago for the PR position, it was a full-time position. And I remember somebody said, "Hey, Brian, you should go for it." And I said, "Nah, it doesn't pay enough. I'm not going to do it." And that's also under Nick Sarwark, and I despise Nick, so I took a pass. When Angela came into power, there was a transitioning out of Reed. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. Not Reed Coverdale. Reed. Oh, he's going to kill me. What is it?
Reed Cloverdale?
Yeah, no, not Reed Coverdale. Not Reed Coverdale. Okay. He's a good friend of mine. He's going to kill me. I'm blanking on his name. I'm so sorry. It's been a long day. My kids woke up at 5 a.m. and they've not stopped. They've not shut up for 12, 15 hours. So he had transitioned out, and they said, "Look, we need somebody to come in here. Would you just like consult on it?" I said, "Oh, well, yeah, I'm happy to help out." And then it kind of became more like, "Do you want more? I'm happy to help you." And I kind of took on this role as a part-time comms director. And now it's essentially full-time. I don't work at full-time, but I am the de facto communications director. And bringing into that, really, I always had a problem with what the LNC was doing as far as communications. And I'm curious to hear how you guys think about this. But my main problem with what the Libertarian Party as a whole and what our communication strategy was is not so much in pointing out where government fails, right? We're always going to be successful in that. But the fact that we don't provide any sort of inspiration to make it better, to say we can deliver you something that's going to be better than what you have. Instead, all we do is say, we're going to take it away, right? We're going to remove this. We're going to remove that. We're going to get rid of welfare. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to tear down the Department of Education. That does nothing but scare people. You have to deliver, especially in this day and age, an inspirational message that even if we don't even have to literally back it up with facts and figures, look what's going on in every political race. You have to give people hope. And the Libertarian Party, I'm sorry, did not do that. And so my entire strategy coming in was, I want to get involved with this because maybe my legacy is giving the Libertarian Party the hope and the inspirational message that actually can communicate something that's beyond that we're going to take away and deliver. There's something bigger than you to believe in that transcends the basic faults you can find in almost any political philosophy.
Yeah, I'm gonna let go ahead and let Ken kind of comment on this because he is our Republican Party activist, and also we got Jason over there who wants to chime in too. I've got my comments to go, but I'm gonna let one of the other two guys take the board and just crawl in there and let you know what's going on. Go ahead.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a Republican person here. I'm voting that way right now just because there's no other real reason. I was an activist. I suppose I still am, but not like I was, for about 10 or 12 years in the GOP in Minnesota. So it was like me and Christian and two other guys. And, that was the whole thing. But we want the Libertarian Party, that you're spot on with the messaging thing, because the Republican Party had exactly the same problem. Is they could never, all they wanted to do is tell the single mom with 3 kids on welfare that we're taking away your welfare and you shouldn't have these kids. Well, sorry, that's not the message. The message needs to be, we know you're better than this. We know that you're being held down by government, by all these other things. We want to help you, and we want to be a way to give you a leg up, And the Libertarian Party had that opportunity. I was in between I was kind of like the Ron Paul kind of libertarian plant in the Republican Party. And there was actually a group of us that we almost did a Seward-like takeover of the state party. We were going to try to do it. We were about 5 or 6 votes short to completely change the thing on its head. And we got all shown the door. And of course, we were persona non gratis. Me and Don Huizinga, he was another one. He actually sued the state over this kind of stuff. But anyway, we were just a group of, I'd say, small L libertarians that were in the party that were like, yes, we should legalize marijuana. No, some of these social issues we need to let go of. And, the gun rights stuff was something that was the other part of it that Minnesota was pretty good at. I mean, as bad as Minnesota is, the gun laws there, they're changing now because they have the House and the Senate and the governorship, but we were able to hold them off for quite a long time and because it used to be you had to have a sheriff say that you could carry a gun and you had to have a reason. And actually, Jesse Ventura was good about getting that switched over, and so we could have permits to carry. I mean, there should be no permits for anything. I'm I'm an originalist from that. If I want an F-16 that I can land and take my tank to work, I should be able to do it. But going back, the Libertarian Party is the group that has they really had the ball is in their court. The ball is in your guys' court right now. If you can just get that message out there, exactly what you're saying is right on point. What are you going to do for the people, and tell a story? Don't say what you're going to take away. Tell the story of why it's better.
Right, exactly. Well, it's not just, I've talked about storytelling, and we've worked on that, and we're talking about different ways to do that. But as you said, tell the reason why it's better. Paint a picture. Like I've rewritten, and again, this is forthcoming very soon, I promise. I've rewritten all of our language to essentially paint the picture of, here's what we're going to give to you. We're going to give you back community. We're going to give you back a sense of reality, because really think about how much our reality is manipulated through media, through social media, through government narratives, through every single interaction point you have. It's manipulated. So saying we're not just going to try to control what you do, we're going to open up the world to you. We're going to open up reality. Saying we're going to give you back community, eliminating these barriers between you, these divisive government regulations, these divisive government programs that position you between your neighbors. Can we be sure we're going to do that? Of course not. But like we're talking about, you have to have a message that says we're going to do it. Because look what the GOP does. The GOP promises, well, we're going to go back to one car, and you have one job, and everybody's going to be super happy, and America's going to be number one again, and super fantastic, wonderful. The DNC, you're not going to have to work. We're going to give you money, and everybody's going to be DEI happy and kumbaya, skipping down the street, and everybody's going to be racially happy, even though, of course, they push divisiveness. None of these things are ever going to happen. And we have a bit of a problem in the Libertarian Party of they're very logical thinkers, but they're not creative thinkers. And I think we're starting to break through that. And that's one of the things that we really need is these artists, these creatives, these people that can dream bigger down the line. And when you think about what drives a political movement, it's not the nuts and bolts. I was joking earlier about coming in, the Democrats, they've got an idea and they say, oh, it worked once, it'll work a million times. Even if it doesn't work once, they keep doubling, tripling down on it because they tell people this is the future. This is what we're going to get to, right? We're going to have the society where all the children learn in one, and public schools are going to be wonderful. You don't have to pay for anything. It never happens, but it's the dream that they're going towards. And all these obvious, factual, logical conclusions of money spent and wasted don't seem to matter. That the Libertarian Party hasn't understood. And what we need to convey is that you have to get beyond facts and figures and logic, because they don't win the people's trust. They don't really win their emotions. They don't win their vision. And that's what sells politics. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, that's what sells politics.
I've got a perfect example of that. And it was something that Nancy Pelosi, who was one of the people, a few people on earth that I hate enormously. And she was when Obama was in office, and she was spouting off something about at some press conference, how wonderful it would be. And she said something that hit me right in the feels. I'm an artist. Okay. And she says, imagine being an artist and not having to worry about to work. You could just be creative and just make your art, and it'll be you'll be able to show it out, and you won't need a job because the government will help you with all that. And I remember thinking that, like, it bothered me for like 2-3 weeks. I'm like, that sounds awesome. I want that. And it was just one of those things that she just told a story. Imagine put a thought in your head. Imagine a place where you that can do the thing that you want more than anything, and you don't have to worry about getting paid for it because the government will take care of you. And I am as far right as you get, and that hit me, and I was like, you know what? There's days where I'm like, that doesn't sound so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, what do you got? What do you got for a comment there?
One thing that took me a long time to realize is that everybody has a different definition of liberty. Some of us define liberty as being able to do what we want, how we want, where we want, and no matter what the cost is, as long as it doesn't affect anybody. Some other, and this took me a long time to realize, that some people actually realize liberty as being not having to worry about what you're going to do. You don't have to worry about anything at all because the government will take care of it for you. It took me a long time to realize that, but that, I think, is one thing that the Libertarian Party needs to realize, that some people really do feel that liberty is being able to live your life without having to worry about anything at all. And they are scared shitless that people like the Libertarian Party is going to take that away from them.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I've tried to counter that in a way. In certain arguments in the website that's going to be published soon, what I try to convey in response to that, people that think, okay, well, I just want the government to take care of everything, and so I don't have to worry about anything, is that what they don't realize is when you allow the government to control everything, your risk pool is basically put into one basket, and that you think you're giving away, you think you're living a free life, free from worry, but if one thing goes bad, you're done. Literally, because that's what the government does. You're putting all your eggs in that one basket. Whereas with libertarianism, the way I try to convey this to these people is like, you have the most possible outcomes. Like, think about the infinite possibilities that exist in the world. And if every one of them is trying their hardest to make that possible outcome happen, the most possible, the most probable, the most successful, those are the outcomes that are going to win, instead of in the environment we live in right now where you're simply limited. And by embracing that, you actually have more freedom, you have more confidence, and you have less risk. I also have these parables I've been writing in, which, because you need this. I mean, look, politics is religion. There's one I call the parable of a million strings. And basically what it is this concept that, similar to this risk philosophy of people feeling safe, the most stable creation is going to be a pillar, right? And that's what we have. Society is a pillar built up brick by brick. But if you have a string on every side, if you have a chain on every side pulling equally hard, it's going to be the most stable possible structure, because if you have everybody pulling at the same time to try to make their way, it's never going to be able to pull one side or the other. When you get government involved, that's when the pillar starts to tilt. That's when it becomes unfair. That's when it becomes unstable. So it's little things like that, I think, speak to what you're talking about, is the safety of people. They need to understand that they're the least safe under the current system, and that the most safety possible is under a system where you have infinite outcomes and the best outcome wins.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And as long as you can explain it to people in a way that doesn't make it sound like you're coming after them, then I think that you will win.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what I'm trying to do, right? Is like, I've been trying to think of ways to do exactly that. It's like we're talking, attacking people doesn't work. Even if you're right, even if you're definitively right, attacking people never works, because their defenses go up. It's called the rebound effect. The more right you are, the more they will resist. Yep. So you have to come at them as a different way. Like I said, with the story, with a promise, with an anecdote, or with something that they haven't really thought of. Like I was saying, with like these pools of risk. People haven't thought of that. They haven't thought of the concepts in that way. And if you could come at them in a way, or just, an example of just, why would you not try something different? We haven't officially changed our tagline for the Libertarian Party, but we created ads, which was an idea I had, right, to support our candidates. I said, look, we're going to make plug and play ads. These will be professionally created advertisements done by this guy, Dan Smots, who some of your audience probably knows about him. Professional ads. And then you can plug and play your stuff. But at the end, we have a tagline that I think is a pertinent tagline, which is built different to build different, right? Give people the idea that you're trying something new. And also, when I talk to like my friends that are progressives, I target stuff like education and welfare. And I go, you've spent so many billions of dollars and welfare has gone up and poverty has gone up. Why would you not want to try something different? And it's an argument that is impossible to refute. As a progressive, especially, you're a progressive. You want to move forward. Why would you not try something different?
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree
exactly.
for sure.
One thing I want to mention about that is I've got a friend who's a full-fledged anarchist, and I was for a while too. But one thing that I saw that kind of ties into my whole anarchy thing is, I can't remember where it was at, but there was somewhere where they had mentioned or shown that a privatized police department was doing far better than the government provided police department, and they were actually outperforming the government police department in all sorts of ways. I mean, that right there is just that anarchist perfect wet dream, libertarian perfect wet dream. It's just stuff like that. I mean, if you can point stuff out like that to get people to maybe plant the little seeds, not say that, hey, you're wrong because I've read more books than you have, that I think will speak volumes.
Yeah. Well, it's that. I mean, you look at privatized schools, you look at, what's going on. Like in Arizona is a perfect example as far as what's going on with taking charter schools, for example, or student vouchers in communities that were typically sent to public school that had terrible results. And you go, okay, instantaneously better personal choice. Same like you're talking about these police departments. And I think I know the circumstance you're talking about. I don't know the exact town, but yeah, it was like response time, crime down, like everything, because they're accountable. And I mean, it's just simple logic. When you have accountability, there is no accountability with police departments. We all know what happens. They do an investigation. They bring in internal affairs. They do an investigation. They find that either there was no wrongdoing, or if there was wrongdoing, they put the cop on leave with pay, with pension, and nothing happens. I mean, I think that speaks volumes too, is pointing out to people what happens when there is somebody at fault. How few times police go to prison, how few times, anybody that actually commits an offense that is found guilty by the system, even by their own internal affairs peers, what happens to them? Oh, that's right. They don't go to jail. They end up getting a comfy retirement, or, similar to kind of the Catholic Church model, right? They shift them. Instead of being fired or prosecuted or sent to prison, they shift them to a different parish, a different police department, a different whatever, and they still get paid. And they never really face any retribution because these people are out to control their own and protect their own. I think that most people have an idea this happens, but they don't know, to speak to your point about explaining what privatization is, they don't know what the other option is. And the Libertarian Party has to do a better job of that, explaining how privatization would work so that people don't just think, oh, well, it's anarchy. If we don't have this, then it all falls to pieces. You're like, no.
Yes.
And I think also, like healthcare is a great example. If you don't have health insurance and these scams and Obamacare, you had healthcare that was very affordable. You had private societies, you had unions, you had communities that would band together to pay doctors. It wasn't difficult. People found a way. You remove health insurance, you remove government involvement, you make it massively cheaper, you remove the regulatory aspect of it, and you have direct to care providing without the headaches. And yet people just forget that this was a thing because it's been memory holed by the government, by the lobbyists, and intentionally so. I mean, every mainstream media hack, 100%, is not going to write an article. Like, you're never going to see the Washington Post write an article about what it looked like when medicine was handled by doctors and communities and handled by, personal guilds or block by block community groups. You're just never going to see it because the enticement isn't there and the money's not there. So it's up to us to provide that kind of evidence, but to do it in a way that's approachable, because the Libertarian Party had for very long, decades, had a website that was so deep in text and in reading. Pages upon pages of essays and essays. You can't do that. Nobody has the time. Nobody has the effort. Nobody's going to think about it. You have to have something that's punchy and short and hits the point. And that's what we're really working on now. And I think that you'd see that in some of our social media as well, how we've made a big shift away from the more traditional approach.
Yeah, I've got three things that I have around the Libertarian Party, and Jason Stapleton, your buddy, is the one that actually made me a libertarian when I came out of my shell.
I will tell him that.
Yeah, he knows that already. We're all a part.
Pulled him out of the closet.
Yeah, we'll pull him out of the closet anyway. But three things: my roads, that's the biggest one, and then we've got Vermin Supreme, the other one, and then the other one would be the Republican Party trying to come in and just interject their own people into the Libertarian Party, and it really makes a mess out of a lot of things. And I don't want to put Vermin Supreme on the line, but I mean, the aesthetics that it looks like on a national brand like the Libertarian Party, it's not a good look. As far as I'm concerned, it's not a good look. And then Yeah, and then yeah, he's funny as hell. But I mean, but the aspect of, they're going like, okay, well, no taxes. Well, what about my roads? So there's that aspect. And then, like I said, the other aspect again is the Republican Party or any type of middle of the line Democrat or Republican wants to come in and just say, oh, I'm a libertarian now.
Yeah. I mean, I think that some of that's been direct and intentional obfuscation of what libertarian means, right? But from the GOP side specifically, they throw the term libertarian out there, I think, because they know that we have a target demographic they need. I mean, look at Donald Trump, right? There's a reason Donald Trump was at our convention, because libertarianism is actually, I think, at this point in time, a massively growing faction, and increasingly because of the impact of Elon Musk and X. Look at what's happened right now, right? I mean, there's wishy-washy, self-masturbatory libertarians that consider themselves purists that want to complain about the job that Angela McArdle's done. Angela McArdle brought Trump to our convention, got him to promise to put a libertarian in his cabinet, got him to promise to free Ross Ulbricht, and also Elon Musk. And look, I've tried to get in touch with Elon Musk, but Elon Musk, full-on libertarian, retweets libertarian accounts constantly, now is talking about putting Ron Paul on his government accountability office if he happens to get put in place. What more do you want? What more do you want? Exactly. This doesn't happen without Angela McArdle getting involved and Donald Trump getting involved at our convention, Elon Musk getting involved, slashing government. None of this happens without it. We're at a point, you want to talk about the libertarian, the libertarian moment, right? We talked about it. It was Time Magazine, Rand Paul. This is the libertarian moment, is it? This is the libertarian moment. You're about to see it. When you have the most powerful man in the world, which Elon Musk arguably is right now, preaching libertarian values, retweeting Hayek, retweeting, every libertarian account, and talking about bringing on Ron Paul, who had inspired a generation of libertarians, including myself, to come out here and fight for what's right, fight for government accountability and shrinking of government and ending the Fed. And JD Vance is out there talking about ending the Fed right now. This is the moment right now. And I don't know if it doesn't happen now. I honestly don't know if it'll ever happen. But I'll tell you, without Angela McArdle, without the convention, without Trump, none of this would happen. None of it would be happening right now. We would be wallowing in inconsequentiality. I don't know. I'm trying to make up a word there like a German does, just adding syllables together. But you know what I'm saying? We would be wallowing in just self-pity, self-masturbation, and complete irrelevance. And yet here we are, arguably the most desired group to attract. We could decide this election, and Elon Musk is a huge part of that.
And then we talk about the distribution of the percentages of the third parties. We got the Green Party, got Jill Stein going on there. We've got the Libertarian Party who's pulling. We're all pulling like 1%. Everybody's pulling their little 1%. But there's got to be some way that there's even in the UK you've got dozens of parties that are gaining popularity, but it just doesn't seem that a third party wants to survive in U.S. political politics. I mean,
hold on, okay. So this is an interesting race. Here's what's going to happen: you're going to have detractors of the party say that this was the least successful presidential campaign, and that it's all Angela McArdle's fault, and that the Libertarian Party didn't back Chase Oliver. And look, we have tried to back Chase Oliver as much as we possibly can. But again, Angela is on record saying, if you're in a swing state, this is a battle between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. I agree with her in that if Kamala Harris wins, I don't like where the country's going. And again, Donald Trump has made the promises to give libertarians quite a bit more power than they've ever had. The thing is, if we don't get 1%, 2%, it doesn't mean that there aren't libertarians out there. It doesn't mean that we haven't grown as a faction. We 100% have. Again, look to Elon Musk's influence right now and look how many people are coming on board and agreeing with this. The problem is people identify this as the race basically of their lifetime. We always hear this is the most important presidential race. This one actually may be. It may be. I say that unironically in my lifetime, it might be the most important presidential election. There's a lot of libertarians, and I know there's people that are close friends of mine. John Odermatt, for a fact, I know is voting for Trump. He lives in Pennsylvania. I live in California. I'm going to vote for Chase Oliver. If I didn't, I would vote for Trump. I'll tell you that flat out. I would vote for Trump.
You guys have I'd say you guys, I should include us. Boy, I'd love to work with you on messaging for the Libertarian Party. I think that would be a ball. I would love to do that.
I am open to absolutely. And I'm open to all opinions. I'd love to hear it.
But what I'm thinking, if you look at what Malay's doing down in Argentina, now here's a guy, I don't know a lot about him, but he's spouting a lot of really hardcore libertarian stuff of the taking things away. So this could be proof, because if you watch in the next 5, and none of this stuff happens in one cycle. Look at 10 years from now, if he can stay in and do what he's doing, and Argentina takes off, because South America could overtake China in 5 years in production. They have all the people, they have all the resources, they got more oil than anybody in the world, and they just have bad governments. But that's why they're all coming up here. But there's proof what's happening down there. That's something to watch. Just as like when Venezuela was, one of the top 5 countries in the world, and now it's a third world shithole. Yep. And it proves it out. And so there is some social proof to it. And the messaging of it, people are so ingrained. Something that did hurt. I'll tell you what's one thing that hurt me, because I was going to go full in Libertarian Party. I know Jason Stapleton too. We were all met him before and stuff. And whenever I get on to Scottsdale, we always go out and have a bourbon or something. But
nice.
It was when I'm from Massachusetts originally. So the Free State Project, of course, in New Hampshire got me all excited. And I watched what happened to because libertarians did a great job. They got on city councils. They got on I'm one. I don't care who the president is. I really don't. Your city council, your board of your school board, all this kind of stuff has way more control over your life. So let's get these libertarians in those groups.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they did it in New Hampshire. And when COVID came and they had a chance to stand up, they didn't.
They locked down just like everybody else.
And it was, I mean, part of it was an East Coast thing, but I'm like, it's the Free State guys. Here's your opportunity. I know for me personally, I was like, I can't get on board with this now. It's just, they fell on their face. The same thing happened with the Ron Paul movement when it all tanked. Ron Paul's buses, I knew the Ron Paul contingent from Minnesota because he won a lot in Minnesota in 2012. And when they went to the RNC, the group that we went with, or I wasn't there, but the group that was going to the RNC, they got in their bus to go there from the hotel, everyone meet, and it's going to be great and stuff like that. He was speeching, and there was a vote, and the bus got lost, and they missed the vote. The bus got lost. Well, the bus didn't get lost.
Somebody didn't build the roads.
Someone greased the right skids, and the bus went the wrong way. But those kind of things have happened. So, like Bruce, what you're talking about is why can't anything get started? Because a lot of it has been started. There's a ton of grassroots stuff in the Republican Party and in the Libertarian Party of good people trying to do stuff that have no backing and no power to do anything about it. So it has to happen slow, and you got to build. So the Free State Project is the first step. You got to build the farm team. They had a hiccup in COVID when they could have taken a chance. And maybe that was a bad example because we were all losing our minds on that to a little bit. But after a couple months, it's time to man up. But these kind of things are what has to happen. Start small, build the farm team, and it's going to be 10, 15 years if we can really build it up.
Well, see, that's the thing is my approach for the LP, like I was talking about, my whole thing to Angela was I want to create, and maybe some of you have heard this, I said this on Dave Smith's podcast, I want to create shitty libertarians. That's my goal. That's my goal. That's what wins elections, guys. That's what actually wins you political power, is not the diehard, I've read every book, I believe every single thing people. I want people, and this is why I've rewritten the messaging. I want people that just believe in the overarching goal and the vision, and that like, hey, we're promising you a better future, and this is how we're going to get there. And you can believe in this. It's going to give you and your kids future, success, stability. You can depend on this. That's the thing. And I really don't give a shit if they know everything that Rothbard said. I don't really give a crap if they can identify the NAP inside out. I don't really give a crap if they have every, inside and out opinion on gun rights down to a T. If they vote libertarian, I don't care. I really don't. I want shitty libertarians in mass. And that's what we're really missing. The Free State Project, they've done a great job, but they're courting the hardcore of the hardcore.
Right.
I'm going the opposite way. I want to promise people something that's so great and so obvious that they just go, yeah, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of that. I'm going LP. This sounds great to me. And I don't really give a shit about the hiccups, and I don't need to know the specifics. I'm just, that's what I'm doing.
And that's the majority of the country. That's the majority, because most voters in either party don't have a clue what they're voting for. Not a clue. And so that I'm with you there 100%. I'll be your first shitty libertarian.
Welcome
I'll be your
aboard,
second.
sir.
I'll be your second. I honestly cannot stand.
You can sign up.
I cannot stand the libertarians that are like, I've read more books than you. I don't give a flying fucking space how many books you read. I read comic books. You have a problem with that? Go to hell.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Guys, we're building a movement here. I'm telling all your audience, this is what we're working towards. This is what Angela's working towards. This is why she's building coalitions. This is why I've supported her the entire time with this. It's about where your power is, where your vision is, changing the world. We actually, for the first time, can change the world. And people, for the first time, because we're talking about libertarians, people are going to discover Ron Paul for the first time again. I'm sad the libertarian website isn't updated. It will be soon, and they're going to go there, and they're going to hear this phrase libertarian. They're going to go, holy shit, these guys are going to give me something better, and we actually have a chance to change things now. But yeah, look, we need money. We need money, guys. We need money.
We always need money. Yeah, gotta have money.
A lot.
Let's change gears to the Lions of Liberty, Mean Age Daydream, which used to be.
We need money too.
Exactly. You need money too. And what is it? Good morning, fuckhead. And let me see. We got first episode now. We have Degenerate Gamblers. I love all these mini podcasts that you guys have.
Great.
Tell us, number one, your daily podcast or your weekly podcast, which is Mean Age Daydreams. Let's start there. We're going to end it up here pretty soon because I know you got some limited time. You got a hard.
I know. I got to kiss my daughter. Before I go to kiss these kids, let me just tell you, this time change crap. Your kids are up at 5 in the morning because they changed the times. They're up at 5 in the morning. Then they're hard all day. Their naps are screwed up. Then you go to put them to bed. Now they don't want to go to bed because now it's earlier. So you got to keep. It's awful.
That's the libertarian platform right there. Daylight savings time.
Yeah.
First one, no more daylight savings time.
Yes. No more daylight savings time.
Delete it. Yes. Delete it.
So yes, but thank you. Yeah, Mean Age Daydream. It used to be Electric Liberty Land, but it's a current affairs show. You know, I do a little bit of messaging, a little bit of current affairs stuff, a little bit of comedy on there. I like to make sure to keep it fresh. I do a few guests here and there, but it's funny. I find when I have guests on, I actually lose listeners. So my downloads drop. So I usually don't do that. But yeah, I've been doing it for years now, and it gives me a chance. You know, what's funny is maybe I need to correct this. I started the show Electric Liberty Land as a way to try to bring in more casual listeners because I have a kind of a funny way of talking, and I used to explain a lot more. But then I swear, guys, you know this, you get angry. You see what's going on in the world, and it just pisses you off, and it just got angrier and angrier. And now that's why I rebranded to Mean Age Daydream, because we live in a mean age, and it pisses me off. But we got to look to better things, you know, like we're talking about, like the party. You got to look ahead. You know, this is the world's going to get better. We can help it there. So that's the primary one. And as you mentioned, I have another one that's publicly available. First episode podcast. It's a comedy podcast. We do first episodes of classic TV. We just did Twilight Zone and a new episode because Halloween. So we did Grotesquerie. Me and a buddy Rico is a long-term Lions of Liberty contributor, and my buddy Don. But we just have fun with it. And then, you know, for the Lions of Liberty Patreon, was just kind of goofy stuff. Yeah, a morning rant show that I do. Good morning, fuckhead. I do call you fuckheads every morning. I say, good morning, fuckheads. We've lost listeners because of it, who said specifically they did not like being called fuckheads every day, which is fair. It's a good reason to unsubscribe. But you know, just a topic a day, and then we do our gambling show. And I've got Bruce, you know, I owe you, and Ken, I owe you guys a Do Nothing Man, my libertarian superhero. Yeah. I owe you guys an episode. It's coming. But we try to have fun. You know, we try to deliver a lot of extra content for people because there's so much out there. And so much of it is terrible. So we try to make it as fun as possible to be a libertarian.
Yeah, well, I enjoy every one of your shows, and I try to catch them as well as I do. And we also know about what's going on, with our little blurb shows, because we have an X show in the morning. We do the best morning show on X, which is
Obviously
what we do. It's great, man. That little access or avenue that we've got for podcasting is just fantastic. I mean, the whole morning thing on X is all Bitcoin. So I mean, why don't we get on there and just start spouting our real selves, our hidden selves that we don't do here on Sunday nights here on on the Weather Report. So we have the Weather View, which we're actually the male view, and actually
yes, if the view is all dudes, that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Christian identifies as black, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Christian said like 2 words this entire time, by the way.
Well, I'm trying not to talk over you guys.
Hey, you know what? He took my old position. That's awesome.
I'm the low man on the totem pole.
Yeah, you have the most hair, so you're probably still winning. If we're being honest.
Also, Christian's the only one of us that's ever really run for office.
Whoa.
Yes, he has. So he'd probably be a good libertarian. What do you think?
He lives in South Dakota.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Can't beat
That's
that.
where I want to go. Yeah.
Yep. It's wonderful.
Where are you guys, by the way, where are you guys from? Okay, where were you guys at in Minnesota? My wife's family lives up in East Grand Forks.
Oh boy, I was in the Andover, Ramsey, Anoka area north of the Twin Cities. Christian was there with us, and
right there.
I'm 45 minutes south of Minneapolis.
He's almost in Iowa.
Yeah.
No, Iowa's quite away from me.
He's in
See
Canada.
if you can go vote in Iowa. It's close race.
He's our resident Canadian.
No.
You are close to Iowa, because when I go down there, the trees lean kind of to the south because Iowa sucks. I've seen it. I've been there.
Jason could come on Caitlin Clark from his house back when she was playing.
The wind was, you guys know what Iowa stands for, right?
You what?
Do you guys know what Iowa stands for?
Oh no.
Yes, but I'll let you tell the joke.
Here
goes the show.
Idiots out wandering around.
Yeah.
Right. No, and I'm way north of Brian, so I'm up in Gilroy, California. So that's
the garlic capital, right?
Oh yeah. Well, it used to be the garlic capital. Now that somebody shot it all away, now I guess it's now in Fresno.
One shooter should not change the concept of a fucking farmland. They grow garlic. I don't understand how that works out. Vegas is still Vegas, man.
Yeah,
garlic.
I know,
They can't grow garlic anymore because the guy shot up the garlic festival.
I guess so. I don't know.
They got a garlic festival shooting ride down there, I heard, now, because it's Vegas.
My biggest episode of the Old Brother Weathered Soul podcast was my involvement in the garlic festival shooting. So I was working in the vault where they were counting the money during that time, and I was there until like 2:00 in the morning, locked down with the FBI running around and all that stuff. You guys can go look at it in the archives and stuff, but it was my best show ever. I mean, everybody likes blood and guts, so they want to hear everything that's going on. But yeah, it's one of those things. Brian, man, thank you for being on, man. I'm going to respect your time here, and I'm going to go let you kiss your wonderful babies that constantly are the petri dish of your household. I know that because I know that a lot of the times that you are just
I know how it goes.
Trying to stave off something.
I already know I'm going to get sick. My daughter's friend is homesick. So, and the dad is homesick, and they were over here at my house, and the wife was at my house last night. So I know I'm going to be sick tomorrow. So you caught me at a good time. I'll say that. And also, thank you guys. This is a lot of fun. I'm having a great time, honestly. So I thank you for having me on. I would love to stay longer, maybe next time. Great show, great times. Cheers, gentlemen. Appreciate you having me on.
Thanks.
Yeah, go ahead and plug yourself one more time before you go, and then we'll let you go, and then we'll end the show without you here.
Of course, yes, please do. Don't change your affairs of my account. Okay, yeah, Brian McWilliams at Brian McWilliams on Twitter, at Lions of Liberty. You can download all of our shows, listen to our shows, me and John Odermatt, and also Meme Wars on Friday. So lionsofliberty.com. And you can also, don't forget, if you like my pitch, join us at the LP. We need the support. We need the members. LP.org, guys. Come on. We've got something building here, and it's time to make a change. So
thank you, Brian. We appreciate it, man.
All right.
Take care. All right, you bet. So I'll put all those links in the show notes, and we really again want to thank Brian McWilliams for being here. We're going to keep on the show because we've got a couple of different little comments that we've had, and the Duchess is just way she loves it. She's got to start collaborating. So she is one of our favorite people that we have now on the X show that we have in the morning. We have the best morning show on X, so you might as well come over there at 6 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time.
Bruce.
And yes, go ahead.
She's also got an amazing voice too.
Is she got an amazing voice or what? I'm
Yes.
telling you, she is the MILF of the internet. I think
Yes.
the MILF of podcasting. I think that's what it is. And she's going to get all blushy and everything on me and stuff like that because I am a big flirt and that's just the way I do things, So she'll just have to handle that, and she can collaborate on it in the morning. But
I bet you.
By milk, you mean man? I like
love it if she would do that.
Yeah.
Collaborate out in the morning.
Absolutely. Who's
Sorry,
got the last clicks? Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying you were talking about MILF. So with her, of course, it's my I love liberty.
My I love liberty.
My I love freedom.
That's exactly what.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I
Freedom,
meant.
not liberty.
That's exactly what I meant.
That is what was in you. That was going through the cockles of your little brain. Wait, it's not Twitter yet, is it? I gotta turn that side of the brain off. I'm sorry. Too much mechanical stuff I was doing this day. I was talking like a mechanic.
Moving into libertarian perspective. No, moving into libertarian. Sorry, it's supposed to be a work in progress. I'm really, the times change and kids, and yes, I'm a mess today.
Yeah, Bruce and I are spry because neither of us have kids in the house anymore. So we're like,
oh yeah, I've got
Gentlemen, turn it down.
We love it.
We're doing a little jazz hands happening.
We got to like that. But anyway, we welcome Christian here as this is his first show with us, and Christian has been inviting us to let us kind of tweak our audio stuff and tweak our show a little bit. So Christian's going to be a welcome addition to the show, and Ken's always going to be here, and so is Jason, and we and I, who am the host of this great show, which is soon to be the #1 show on the internet. I mean, we're going to surpass Joe Rogan and all those guys, pretty soon. I don't know when that's going to be.
We should have Joe Rogan on one of these days.
Yeah, we should have Joe.
We should send the invite.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'll give him a call.
What's his address? X.
Joe, yeah.
X Factor.
He's busy this week. Sorry.
Anyway, we're gonna let you guys go tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut down the show. But we will be back again next Sunday. Oh, by the way, Tuesday night, I forgot to tell everybody, on Tuesday night we are having a live stream. The Weather Report, the Weathered View, the Boomer Bunker, and the I Had to Say podcast are going to get together, and we're going to do a live stream from 6 o'clock until whenever until we find out who the president is. And
about 11:30 Central.
There we go. You know how to do time math. That's great. That's fantastic.
As soon as you learn it, Bruce, the sooner we can move on with the show. 6 o'clock Pacific, which no one will be listening. It's 8 o'clock Central, which is what the rest of us are. And you're 3 to 1 off of this now. We're all Central Time. So
yeah,
8 o'clock Central Time. Tune in live. We're gonna have some special guests too that are gonna be popping in and out throughout the show. We've got some great invites in. We've got some actual congressmen, people from Minnesota that are very libertarian and liberty-minded folks that are actually fighting a good fight, and they're going to be coming in and out, and they're going to be bringing in some special guests that no one knows about yet. We'll see how that goes. We're really looking forward to it, though. It's going to be a good night.
Yeah, it's going to be a good show. So we'll send out the link to that to all my people that are on my mailing list and my and my that go to weatheredsoul.com. As a matter of fact, you can go in there and you can check out our website and also sign up for the monthly newsletter. And you can go to www.weatheredsoul.com to go do that. And also you can grab us on X in the morning at 6:00 for our morning show. So that's what we got today, guys. We'll see you guys on Tuesday night for the election, and we'll see what happens, man. I don't know, man. It's kind of like waiting for the results of a pregnancy test. What do you think?
Not the father.
No, I don't think that's anything like that. I think this is going to be a whole lot worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Finding out whether you got herpes or not. I think that's the thing too.
Oh, here comes the feet. Oh, it's cloven hoof. We're in trouble.
You guys have a good night.
Man,
And be
beer
good to
pig.
yourselves. We'll see you later. Take care.
Vamonos.
See ya.